Vasudevam Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamtirya Nashtavrayeshu Vadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhagavati Naishike. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 5, Lord Rishabhadev's teachings to his sons, text number 20 onwards. Tasmad bhavanto hirdena jata sarve mahiyansam amam sanabham aklishta buddhya bharatam bhajadvam shushrushnam tad bharanam prajanam. My dear boys, you're all born of my heart, which is the seat of all spiritual qualities. Therefore, should not act like materialistic and envious men. You should accept your eldest brother Bharat, who is exalted in devotion service. If you engage yourselves in Bharat's service, your service to him will include my service, and you will rule the citizens automatically. So in this verse, the word Hriday indicates the heart, which is also called Ura, the chest. The heart is situated within the chest, and although instrumentally the son is born with the aid of the genitals, he is actually born from within the heart. According to the heart's situation, the semen takes the form of a body. Therefore, according to Vedic system, when one begets a child, his heart should be purified through the ritualistic ceremony known as Garbhadan. Rishabhadev's heart was always uncontaminated and spiritual. Consequently, all the sons born from the heart of Rishabhadeva were spiritually inclined. Nonetheless, Rishabhadev suggested that his eldest son was superior, and he advised the others to serve him. All the brothers of Bharat Maharaj were advised by Rishabhadev to adhere to Bharat's service. The question may be asked, why one should be attached to family members? For in the beginning it was advised that one should not be attached to home and family. However, it is also advised, Mahiyasam Padarajo Abhishekam. One has to serve the Mahiyan, one who is very spiritually advanced. Mahat Sevam Dwaram Ahur Vimuktes. By serving the Mahat, the exalted devotee, one's path for liberation is open. The family of Rishabhadev should not be compared to an ordinary materialistic family. Bharat Maharaj, Rishabhadev's eldest son, was specifically very exalted. For this reason, the other sons were advised to serve him for his pleasure. That was to be their duty. So Rishabhadev Maharaj is further clarifying that all his sons, they should serve Bharat Maharaj, because Bharat Maharaj is more qualified, spiritually very exalted. So he should be the ruler and all the brothers should serve him. And they all agreed because they all are Rishabhadev's sons. So there was no enviousness among the brothers. The Supreme Lord was advising Bharat Maharaj to be the chief ruler of the planet. This is the real plan of the Supreme Lord. In the battle of Kurukshetra, we find that Lord Krishna wanted Maharaj Yudhishthira to be the supreme emperor of this planet. He never wanted Duryodhan to take the post. As stated in the previous verse, Lord Rishabhadev's heart is Hirdayam Yatra Dharma. The characteristic Dharma is also explained in Bhagavad Gita as surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. To protect Dharma, the Lord always wants the ruler of the earth to be a devotee. Then everything goes on nicely for the benefit of everyone. As soon as a demon rules the earth, everything becomes chaotic. At the present moment, the world is inclined toward the democratic process. But the people in general are all contaminated by the modes of passion and ignorance. Consequently, they cannot select the right person to head the government. The president is selected by the votes of ignorant Shudras. Therefore, another Shudra is elected, and immediately the entire government becomes polluted. If people strictly followed the principles of Bhagavad Gita, they would elect a person who is the Lord's devotee. Then automatically they would be good.
Prabhuji, sorry to interrupt you. I think Dheeraj Prabhu's video is on in the bathroom. Yeah, please go ahead.
I'll mute him. No, he was muted. So the president is selected by the votes of ignorant Shudras. Therefore, another Shudra is elected, and immediately the entire government becomes polluted. If people strictly followed the principles of Bhagavad Gita, they would elect a person who is the Lord's devotee. Then automatically they would be good government. Rishabdev therefore recommended Bharat Maharaj as the emperor of this planet. Serving a devotee means serving the Supreme Lord, for a devotee always represents the Lord. When a devotee is in charge, the government is always congenial and beneficial for everyone. Prabhupada made so many points in one paragraph. So Bharat Maharaj, he was a devotee and he was very exalted devotee. And it was Krishna's plan, or Maharaj Rishabdev's plan, was a plenary expansion of Krishna, to make Bharat Maharaj the ruler of the earth planet, because then he would rule according to the dharma. Varnashram system would be established and everybody would be encouraged because they follow the leader. They follow the leader more than people follow the words of the leader. They follow the example set by the leader. And a devotee can only set a good example for the whole public to follow. And Prabhupada says, so currently it's a democratic system, but the public in general is in the mode of passion and ignorance. So how can they elect the right person? Everybody is pretty much Shudra category. So they select or elect another Shudra, and then everything is chaotic. So the real point is a devotee should be elected as a leader. But for that, devotees have to come into politics. And it's not a very good scenario. But maybe, who knows, maybe in the future, these things will happen. So when a devotee is in charge, the government is always congenial and beneficial for everyone. And it is quite possible that Krishna will make the arrangement, just like he made the arrangement for Yudhishthira Maharaj. He made the arrangement for Bharat Maharaj to rule. He can make the arrangement for devotees to come into power so they can rule. Not rule actually, they serve the public properly and set an example for everybody else to follow. Bhuteshu viruddhaya uduttama ye sarisriptasteshu sabodha nishtha tato manushya brahmathas tato api gandharva siddha vibudha anugaye devasurebhyo magvat pradhana dakshadyo brahma sutastu tesham bhavah paraso ath viranchi virya samat paro aham dvijadeva deva. Of the two energies manifest, spirit and dull matter, beings possessing living force, vegetables, grass, trees, and plants, are superior to dull matter, stone, earth, etc. Superior to non-moving plants and vegetables are worms and snakes, which can move. Superior to worms and snakes are animals that have developed intelligence. Superior to animals are human beings, and superior to human beings are ghosts, because they have no material bodies. Superior to ghosts are the Gandharvas, and superior to them are the Siddhas. Superior to Siddhas are Kinnars, and superior to them are the Asuras. So Asuras are better than Kinnars in terms of better use of their bodies. Superior to the Asuras are the demigods, and of the demigods, Indra, the king of heaven, is supreme. Superior to Indra are the direct sons of Lord Brahma, sons like King Daksha, and supreme among Lord Brahma's sons is Lord Shiva. Since Lord Shiva is the son of Lord Brahma, Brahma is considered superior, but Brahma is also subordinate to me. That's what Rishabdev Maharaj is saying. The Supreme Personality of God, because I'm inclined to the Brahmans. The Brahmans are best of all. So how he laid down the whole system, who is superior to whom, but in the end he says, I'm inclined to the Brahmans. Brahmans means the devotees. So the Brahmans are best of all. In this verse, the Brahmins are given a position superior to that of the Supreme Lord. The idea is that the government should be conducted under the guidance of the Brahmins. Although Rishabdev recommended his eldest son, Bharat, as the emperor of the earth, he still had to follow the instructions of the Brahmins in order to govern the world perfectly. So now if you remember, Rishabdev Maharaj had 100 sons. So 9 were Kshatriyas and 81 became Brahmins. No, I'm sorry. There was what? 13 were Kshatriyas and 9 were those Nav-Yogendras. They were the Vaishnavas, and rest became Brahmins, something like that, if I remember the exact numbers. So Rishabdev Maharaj is telling Bharat, okay, you will be the ruler, but you still have to listen to your Brahmin brothers also and follow them. The Lord is worshipped as Brahmanya Deva. The Lord is very fond of devotees, so Brahmins. This does not refer to so-called caste Brahmins, but to qualified Brahmins. So Vaishnava is already a Brahman. So that's what Prabhupada is referring to here. A Brahman should be qualified with the 8 qualities mentioned in text 24, such as Sama, Dhamma, Satya, and Tidiksha. The Brahman should always be worshipped, and under their guidance, a ruler should discharge his duty and rule the citizens. Unfortunately, in this age of Kali, the executive is not selected by very intelligent people, nor is he guided by qualified Brahmins. Consequently, chaos results. The mass of people should be educated in Krishna consciousness so that, according to the democratic process, they can select a first-class devotee like Bharat Maharaj to head the government. If the head of the state is headed by qualified Brahmins, headed means or instructed by qualified Brahmins, everything is completely perfect. And the Brahmins are not somebody who would be interested in making money or ruling over. Brahmins means they would always live a very simple, devoted life. Learn the scriptures, teach the scriptures. That's it. And also, someplace Prabhupada mentioned the last Brahman who led the government was Chanakya Pandit. And he was a real Brahman. Although Chandragupta Maurya was his disciple and he became the king, Chanakya Pandit made him the king. But Chanakya Pandit never took a single penny as a salary. He would still be living in a hut, very simple life, and he would go out begging every day. The point was, he was like, he said, if I take the salary, means then I have to follow the orders of the king, and Brahman don't follow anybody's orders. Not for salary, no. So that is a position of real Brahmins, actually. And that's how they should be guiding the kings. That's why all the kings in the Vedic history we see, they had so many Brahmins guiding them. even Lord Ram and Vasishtha Muni guiding him, and the Pandavas had Kripacharya and Dronacharya. Every king would have a Brahman or a set of Brahmans guiding him. Very, very important. And as a Kshatriya, the king would be taking decisions, implementing those decisions, and protecting the population, the praja. If they have to fight, they would go and fight. And Brahmins would not go out and fight. Of course, in Mahabharata, the story of Dronacharya and Kripacharya as a fighter, that's a little different. Those are exceptions. In this verse, the evolutionary process is indirectly mentioned. The modern theory that life evolves from matter is to some extent supported in this verse because it is stated, Bhuteshu Viruddhabhaya. That is, the living entities evolve from vegetables, grass, plants, and trees, which are superior to dull matter. In other words, matter also has a potency to manifest living entities in the form of vegetables. In this sense, life comes out of matter, but matter also comes out of life. As Krishna says, Aham Sarvasya Prabhava. I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. So life comes out of matter in the sense, of course, the spirit soul is not formed out of matter, but the body is made of matter, and the spirit soul needs the body to function. So if we look at it as a combination, so then yes, life comes out of matter because the body is made of all this matter. There are two energies, material and spiritual, and both originally come from Krishna. Krishna is a supreme living being, although it may be said that in the material world, a living force is generated from matter. It must be admitted that originally matter is generated from the supreme living being, Nitya Nityanam. Conclusion is that everything, both material and spiritual, is generated from the supreme being. From the evolutionary point of view, perfection is reached when the living entity attains the platform of a Brahman. A Brahman is a worshipper of the Supreme Brahman, and the Supreme Brahman worships the Brahman. In other words, the devotee is subordinate to the Supreme Lord, and the Lord is inclined to see to the satisfaction of his devotee. A Brahman is called Dvij Deva, and the Lord is called Dvij Deva Deva. He is the Lord of the Brahmans. So, Brahman or a devotee is superior to the Lord in the sense the Lord makes him superior. Lord loves his devotees so much. He says, my devotees are superior to me. I serve my devotees. Devotees don't say the Lord wants, don't want to let the Lord serve him, but this is the mood of the Lord. Krishna wants to serve devotee, devotee wants to serve Krishna. So it's just like if a father, out of love for his infant child or a toddler, he picks up the child and puts him on his shoulder. And the child thinks, oh, he has become bigger than the father. So this relationship is like that. The Lord has picked up the devotee, put him on his head. But if the devotee thinks, I'm bigger than the Lord now, then that's a problem. A child out of innocence might think, but he knows his position. He's not bigger, he's not better, he's not more powerful than his father. And similarly, a devotee knows his position. But the Lord, out of his love for devotee, he says, my devotees are better than me. The evolutionary process is also explained in Chaitanya Charitamrita, wherein it is said that there are two types of living entities, moving and non-moving. Among moving entities, there are birds, beasts, aquatics, human beings, and so on. Of these, the human beings are supposed to be the best, but they are few. Of these small number of human beings, there are many low-class human beings like Malechas, Pulindas, Bodhas, and Shavas. The human being elevated enough to accept the Vedic principles is superior. Among those who accept the Vedic principles, generally known as Varnashram, presently known as the Hindu system, few actually follow these principles. Of those who actually follow the Vedic principles, most perform fruitive activity or pious activity for elevation to a high position. So, Manushyanam Shastreshu, out of many attached to fruitive activity, one may be a jnani. That is, one philosophically inclined and superior to the karmis. Out of many jnanis, one may be liberated from material bondage, and out of many millions of liberated jnanis, one may become a devotee of Krishna. So how rare and how elevated a devotee of Krishna is that it's very rare for somebody to become a devotee. So that is why Rishabdev Maharaj says the Brahman is superior to everybody. Of course, also if we go back to the verse, the translation, so it is a superior to Siddhas are the Kinnars, and superior to them are the Asuras. So Kinnar, why I'm saying Kinnar? Kinnar is they are heavenly people. Very, very exalted, superior to Siddhas. Even Siddhalok, better than Siddhalok is the Kinnars. And now it is for just accepting or satisfying some political needs, those who are eunuchs, they're called Kinnars. That's not the right terminology. Kinnars are very, very exalted beings in the heavenly planets or higher than heavenly planets. So those eunuchs should not be called Kinnars. They can be called whatever, something else, but not Kinnar. These politicians, they just mess up everything without understanding the scriptures. Na brahmana stulya bhutam anyat pashyami vipraha kimatah paramtu yasmin ribhi prahutam shraddhayam ashnami kamam na tathagni hotre. O respectful Brahmins, as far as I'm concerned, no one is equal to or superior to the Brahmins in this world. I do not find anyone comparable to them, and people know my motive after performing rituals. According to the Vedic principles, they offer food to me with faith and love through the mouth of a Brahman. When food is thus offered unto me, I eat it with full satisfaction. Indeed, I derive more pleasure from food offered in that way than from the food offered in the sacrificial fire. According to Vedic system, after the sacrificial ceremony, the Brahmins are invited to eat the remnants of the offered food. When the Brahmins eat the food, it is to be considered directly eaten by the Supreme Lord. Thus, no one can be compared to qualified Brahmins. The perfection of evolution is to be situated on the Brahminical platform. Any civilization not based on Brahminical culture or guided by Brahmins is certainly a condemned civilization. Presently, human civilization is based on sense gratification, and consequently, more and more people are becoming addicted to different types of things. No one respects Brahminical culture. Demonic civilization is attached to Ugra karma. Horrible activities and big industries are created to satisfy unfathomable lusty desires. Consequently, the people are greatly harassed by governmental taxation. People are irreligious and do not perform the sacrifices recommended in Bhagavad Gita. By the performance of sacrifice, clouds form and the rain falls. due to sufficient rain, there is sufficient production of food. Guided by the Brahman, society should follow the principles of Bhagavad Gita. Then people will become very happy. Annad bhavanti bhutani. When animals and men are sufficiently fed with grains, they become stronger, and their hearts become tranquil and their brains peaceful. They can then advance in spiritual life, life's ultimate destination. So this is the real position of the Brahmins, very, very dear to the Lord. So after the sacrifice, when the food is offered to the Brahmins, and it is said Supreme Lord eats through their mouth. Why? Because they're now the Brahmins, not in the modern day example, the Brahmins are just caste Brahmins and they're fat and they just eat a lot. Those are the wrong images we have in our mind, not real Brahmins. Real Brahmins are supposed to be very, very satisfied even with very little. Just like when Advaitacharya, he is the Supreme Lord himself, he is Mahavishnu. And Advaitacharya, when he performed Shraddha ceremony for his father in Navadvip, in Shantipur, there were many Brahmins invited. But he offered the first plate of prasadam to Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur was, from society point of view, he was a Malacha. He was born in a Muslim family. And Haridas Thakur himself resisted. He said, no, you're making a mistake. Advaitacharya, what are you doing? So many qualified Brahmins are there. You give them the first plate. I'll take their prasad later on. Haridas Thakur says, no. Oh, I'm sorry, Advaitacharya. Advaitacharya was the leader of all the Brahmins and Vaishnavas in the area. And he said, no, I know what I'm doing. By feeding you the first plate, I'm feeding millions and millions of Brahmins. He knew the value, they knew the position of Haridas Thakur as the Vaishnava, as a very, very exalted Vaishnava. So when a Vaishnava, a devotee like that is fed nicely, Supreme Lord gets pleased. So Supreme Lord, Krishna doesn't want any of our offerings or food or something. He just wants to see how beautifully, how nicely we serve the devotees. And then he gets satisfied. So that's the right way. But we have to understand, not just the caste Brahmin. Nothing against caste Brahmins, but the real message is to serve the devotees properly. And then Krishna is pleased. And these kind of devotees, when they lead the Kshatriyas or the kings or guide them properly, then the kings can rule properly. Because these devotees or these Brahmins have no ulterior motive. Their only motive is to serve everybody. Serve the Lord, serve the Lord's creation. That's all. And they're there for the benefit of everybody. So anyway, we'll stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments. Okay, so I guess we can stop here. You all have a safe and wonderful day. Hare Krishna, Jai Shri
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat.